kids? It's your boy, T-Snacks, back at it again with a legit... Wait a minute. Where am I? Well, that would explain you two. I guess we should start. Why people should be allowed to duel. Oh, alright. So I was at Chuck E. Cheese the other day, and, you know, he was just standing there, he welcomed me, he was being real creepy about taste or something. All of a sudden, I go into the dining room, and I just see a bunch of scared human beings looking at, I think this is like a Rocko's Modern Life episode that never went to air. Anyways, so I walked into the dining room and I see these guys, and these guys are jaw-jacking with the guy at the front, and for the love of God, I just can't understand why we can't settle it physically anymore. Like, what is wrong with us where we can't just duel it out in the parking lot? I mean, I guess if you're married, you can duel it out in the bedroom with your wife dressed as Hitler. Everything about this image screams help. But hey, this is a great example of how to sort out your problems. Will, I hate you. See, this guy dueled with his penis and blew up a house, so we should duel because then we wouldn't have as many houses. And this is what happens when we don't duel, because there's mass migration, but because there's no dueling allowed, the skies are closed because planes have started to revolt and crash into one another, so the birds are all scared, so the birds come down and just walk all the way from Mexico to here. You ever just get tire sick? You ever get your tire pregnant and they have morning sickness? This is another reason we should be allowed to duel. You should be allowed to just cut that tire, you know, and then just slap it on, you know, just slap it together. Slap that bitch. Huh. I guess Kiss is looking for new members. That was an atrocity. What's my next topic? War story. Oh, this should be a lot better. So, it was 1942. What?
1944.
When did they drop the nukes?
1945, technically.
Okay, so it's 1945. The Japanese are on high alert. Reports are America's going to bomb the shit out of them. They're used to that, but apparently it's going to be worse. So, this lady here is prepared. She is in hiding from Death Grips. Death Grips has taken the entire stock of Bitcoin and used it to purchase a time machine to go save this lady, because she left detailed instructions to where she would be found, as she was already aware of when the nuclear warheads would drop. So Death Grips, armed with his Bitcoin, goes to purchase a time machine. Now this is a great time machine. Is this time machine COPPA compliant? Because I don't think so. This time machine, it's like a car, you just stick the key in the ignition, and if it's not working, you just kind of jiggle it back in and out a couple times. And then all of a sudden, Death Grips appears in the 40s as a handsome black man instead of whatever the fuck Death Grips is. He's real slender-like and like he's computer-generated but with a real head on him. And he's now on the beaches of Japan with direct instructions and only 72 hours to get to the other end of the country. How will he do it? Well, one way is via goat worshippers. Satanists. These are Satanists, and Satanists can do about anything you ask them to do as long as you give them goats. So, armed with his loyal Satanist cult, of fucking course you did. So then Death Grips, armed with the Satanists, gives them the greatest gift of all, the My Little Pony cum jar. As you can see, Death Grips here with the wild animal that he saved from the nuclear war and is currently sharing what looks to be some sort of human remains. The story is really quite sweet. Death Grips comes back with this woman, and the first thing he sees when he gets back is Donkey Kong is green, Ness is relevant, and it's now 1996. We have not progressed any further because the Japanese had no motivation. This one lady really was important. She had to die. Death grips fucked everything up. People are so backwards that instead of TPing their houses, they're just teeing people's trees and houses, throwing toilets at them, hanging them off. Death Grips realizes what he has to do, gets back in the time machine, arrives back in Japan with the woman, and of course using the end. He beats the shit out of her.
Michael Scorsese.
Michael Scorsese? My client is not guilty. Oh, Jesus. Well, fuck! Alright.
The defendant's lawyer may now step up.
Ah, perfect. As you can see, sir, in this image, there's no actual way to tell if my client is part of the problem. I'd like to see more evidence to prove that my client is actually here doing harm. That I can't refute. My client should have known better. In fairness to him, the store sold it without questioning him. You did this intentionally. My client does a lot of charity work. You might remember Live Aid. All my client did was reference the wondrous man that is Evel Knievel, who parked trucks in trees because he could. The man didn't care about gravity. He only cared about one thing. That cash money. And his eternal love for the Fuhrer. You can see my client here bathing their feet in milk. Or dead Jews. I can't really tell. I'm only defending them on the charges of hate crime, not this. I can't. As a child, my client not only would identify the Jews, but would execute them medieval style. My point is, my client is a sadist, but doesn't hate black people. This is proof that my client is a skinhead and not a plantation owner. Just, you know, guilty was what I expected. Thanks, asshole. It goes from chicken to fucking starving people in third world countries.
Snack time.
I hate you. How the simulation works. Ah, yes. The simulation is this weird thing that involves, of course, God himself, as he peeks through cracks and doors, waiting for you to make mistakes. Next is the woolen crab. Now, the woolen crab is not to be confused with the massive crab attack that was a MLG moment at E3. But this lady's ass here, this is the goal. Obviously, the simulation works in other ways too, like how disabled spots are like this weird veto where if you just park a wheelchair there, it really looks at you twice. Another thing about the simulation that's really great is your freedom of religion. You are allowed to, pretty much do whatever you want as long as you claim religion and have solid ground. Look at this lady. She's not burning a cross. She's just worshipping television. Everyone has religious freedom in the simulation. And of course, this is, while it cannot be displayed in China, it is in reference to the Tiananmen Square man who stood in front of a tank, and what would have inevitably happened to him if the video had kept going. This right here, see, that's a person. That's a person who is exercising their freedom to own as much human hair as possible, I think, because if I think about what else this could be, we're gonna have a bad time. Yeah, see, the simulation, pretty simple. Take a vacation at Disney World Bob Cajun. Here at Disney World Bob Cajun, we not only have cereal that goes in your leg, we also have a lot of depression because we're in the native country and our government sucks. See here, in the winter, the natives can use the pools of the rich white folk as their dining rooms. Here at Bob Cajun, we also have horses that have been, or dogs, I can't tell. We have dogs that have been so malnourished that they are nothing but some flesh and bones. And Slender Boy. This isn't Slender Man because he's not wearing a suit. Slender Boy walks around naked and flops his penis at you when he's angry, so if you ever see him, call the police and stand still. He doesn't detect movement. He's like a T-Rex. The other thing we have is people that just crush Pepsi cans into the toilet to make it as if they're pissing brown. These people are assholes. If you see them doing this, please take out your 12-gauge shotgun you brought with you from Florida and put a bullet in the back of their head. And remember, birdshot, buckshot, birdshot, buckshot, buckshot, buckshot. Another reason you should come visit is because even the dogs think furries are an abomination. Due to high prices, we actually sell our graphics cards hidden in sandwiches. And also, we don't have to worry about masks and tea and whatever that is. This is our mascot. His name is Joe. Joe likes to touch you at night and leave blood marks on your ass. Another great reason you should come visit us is because we're closing soon, as the government finally realized that we're not actually an amusement park, we're a farm for human flesh, mostly babies. That was the presentation game. We definitely didn't steal that from places. Something, suck my toes.